Ba-doom, boom, 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 ba-da-ba-dum, boom, 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 boom. Show and tell. Sapphire. Bot. Hello, everybody. Settings. Checkity check. Hello, thanks for joining me. I thought it would be fun since I was a little more obsessed than I would like to be with Arc. You know, it was such a good browser. I say was because they've kind of formally announced that they're stopping working on it, possibly even, I think, for Chromium updates, which then makes it like kind of extra useless if you ask me. So I've been on the prowl for something else. The Shop Talk Discord was pretty hot for a second on, or somebody. Sorry, I forget who it was exactly. Was pretty into Orion by Kagi. You know Kagi? I pay for Kagi, and it's actually, we'll get around to that because it's one of the, it's like it's just a search engine. I don't even know what the search engine underneath it is. It's probably Bing or Google, but probably not Google because the point of it is like no ads and super privacy and all that stuff. I think it does a pretty good job with, you know, how ignorant I am about how it works, that I pay him a few bucks to use it or whatever and set it as my default search. They make a browser, don't they, called the Orion browser. Hi, everybody. And it's pretty good, I thought, but there was just like enough little stuff about it that I'm already off of it, but maybe I'll go back and try it. But Steven, who works with me at CodePen, was like, have you seen this thing called SigmaOS, which I totally have not seen, but it's a part of my post-arc journey, I would say now, and I'm just giving it a spin. And I thought I only have like, I don't know, 40 minutes or something today. We'd look at that before we get into a little bit of code and stuff. Maybe you'll all be interested in it too. Maybe you already use it. It is, I believe, Mac only. Ugh. Sorry about that. If that's a turnoff, it might not be the stream for you. A lot of these browsers are cross-platform, but who knows? For whatever reason, this one isn't. I guess because maybe WebKit isn't. Is there a Windows WebKit browser? I think not, maybe. Ugh, that seems weird to say, but okay. Anyway, I was shown this. I mentioned WebKit at all because it is WebKit based, which is honestly not my favorite. It's not my favorite mostly because of their dev tools here. They're not awful. I just think they're the worst of the bunch, and I don't love that I would have to use them if I used it as my full-time development browser too. I mean, I guess it's possible that for development you use a different browser than all the rest of the browsing that you do in the world. Totally reasonable. For me, generally, I'm kind of like a one browser guy. I could change the habit. I could figure it out, maybe. I don't know that I will. So we'll see. All right. So SigmaOS, had never heard of it. It seems like it's like, I don't know, maybe a year or two old, but it was only like in March of this year where they kind of had like a launch on, what does everybody launch stuff on? Product Hunt or whatever. I don't know. I don't know when they consider it like their big launch was, but it's not that old as far as a browser is concerned. It seems like there's a lot of these. I know there's a lot of them. I wrote for Front End Masters a blog post where I looked up all the kind of alternative browsers out there, and there's probably more than there's ever been. But what I was looking for is something And I hate it because I'm just a fanboy. That is relatively Arc-like. Arc got so many features that I like stuck in my stupid little fingers that I really liked. So I needed to get off Arc, but I need to find something that has a lot of the features it has. This might be the best one so far that I've found. So let's just look at their homepage because I think it's probably an easy way. But I'm in the browser right now. Like, we're looking at me in SigmaOS. So let's see what it does. This screenshot right away is showing it has split screen. Split screen is great. I think it's interesting to see how many different takes of split screen there are. I've seen some interesting ones. In fact, Chrome Canary has a flag you can launch it with. I think Chrome will probably have split tabs at one time. That might even be my favorite implementation I've ever seen. Well, Arc is my favorite implementation I've ever seen, but this has a sidebar thingy. I can just open it, and it's kind of interesting that they use this sidebar for multiple things. It could be another page. That's what they're really showing off here, is like, what page do you want it to be? But it has other stuff. And in fact, that's where they tuck your extensions too, which is kind of a weird thing. God, it scrolls weird over here. That would be some feedback for them. It supports, even though it's WebKit, and I think Orion is like this too, it supports Chrome extensions even though it's WebKit, which is really weird. But it should be common APIs and stuff, so it's nice that they were able to make that work. I don't have many going on here. I think when I was in Chrome, I probably did run 8 or more. I can't even remember what they all are, but it's kind of crucial to me. I know I'm just so deep on 1Password, sharing it with different teams and having completely tons of passwords in it. I like the 1Password experience. It's not optional for me that 1Password works in a browser. It does in SigmaOS, so that's great via the Chrome extension, even though there is a Safari extension, so I'm not sure why that was necessary, but things like the Notion web clipper are big for me, so I like that I have access to extensions. It's not only like where you see the extensions, is where you use the extensions too. So if I kick on 1Password, that's where I use 1Password, or if I'm on a page and I click the Notion web clipper, that's where the UI for the web clipper then goes. So it's kind of an interesting idea that the sidebar isn't just for splitting websites, but it's for other things too. It's where their AI features are too. They call it Eris, I guess. That's fine. It's probably just like required for VC these days to have some kind of fancy AI that you name, that you put on the page, and it uses the page that you're on for context. Okay, fine. What was a little interesting to me is that all of their pro features, the way that you can pay them as a company, is all centered around this Eris tool. It's a little surprising to me. Like, if you don't care about that, then you're kind of like, I don't. You're kind of just out on being a pro user of it. You'd think they'd throw a couple of other features behind their paid plans, but because I don't really care about this, I guess I'm not one of them. I even kind of want to give them money, but can't at the moment. And a bunch of other features, whatever. Tags, who knows if I'll ever use it. I poked at it and I was like, I don't know that I care about this. Will I ever use my browser to store my reminders? Probably not. It's just not one of those things that I need to be smashed into my browser, but hey, it's there. So that's interesting. God, that UI shift was pretty weird there. I set some preference, and I think it'd be worthwhile going through the preferences that had some like blur the background when you're in this mode. So I think if I hit Command T, which would be a new tab, it does that Arc-like thing where it doesn't just put your cursor up in the URL bar. It gives you this, what are we calling these, like Command K bars or whatever? The new CodePen totally has one too. I love these things where it's not just a URL bar. It's like actions. It's like mostly you just type in search or the URL for something, but it can do whatever. I like that, and it's supposed to like blur the background when you do that. I guess it doesn't blur its own background though. Anyway, that was a little janky of UI there. I'm not sure how I triggered that. Okay, so it's got splitting. You can already see that it's got the vertical tabs too. Also crucial for me. I just think screens are wider than they are tall. It makes more sense. I can read more of my tabs on the left. I got so used to it in Arc that now I'm just a sidebar tabs guy. So that's like a non-starter. For a browser, it better have some stuff on the left. It really, anything can do it. There's good Chrome extensions that do it. Safari can do it. I think all the browsers can do it. So it's not, you're not really locked out of this, any browser choice you make, but making it a first-class citizen to me is nice, having the vertical tabs here on the left. And it's got the workspaces thing. That kind of, I think Arc popularized that. You can swipe through them. They're just organizations of tabs that I also kind of like. We got Mr. Lucky Ducky. Do you think it blocks ads on CodePen? Yeah, I mean, maybe, probably. It depends on how I don't even know. I guess we could just look quick, but I'd need a free account to do it. CodePen.io. I would think that it would, because we just use buy sell ad. So there would be an ad. No, I'm pro though, so I need to log out. Yeah, there's ads here. So it's not blocking that one. Even though I do have their default ad blocker on, we can look at preferences for a sec. Can you see that? You can. It's the SigmaOS ad blocker. So it's either that SigmaOS ad blocker doesn't block these particular ads. Buy sell ads is known to be pretty cool with ad blockers, and that they do things, they don't do nefarious crap that ad blockers like to block. I know was it AdBlock Plus doesn't block them. It seems like very strange, but that's the case. Either that or the way that we've implemented them are sneaky enough or something that it's not blocking ads there. So SigmaOS does ship with an ad blocker though. I'd say almost all of these third-party browsers do. You know, maybe it was Brave that was one of the first ones, is like, we're extra private, you know, but there's so, I don't think I've ever seen a third-party browser that doesn't have some marketing material that says, we protect your privacy even better. And then what other browsers do? Yeah, okay, fine. All right, workspaces for organizing into different stuff. I love that. I think I need that. I wish it had a kind of a pinning UI where you could have the little ones up here, like the perma tabs or something. SigmaOS's version of perma tags are these little locks. So I can't like accidentally close this. It's kind of a signal to myself, like keep that there until I'm super done with it. So I can be on that and just like Command W to close it. And it's like, no, you can't do that. I don't know. I think that's nice a little bit, you know, it's one of those kind of perma tab things. I'm not sure if it's the perfect implementation, but it's okay. Notice that closing it is like a check mark, and it's mark as done, not close, even though Command W does work to close it too. We can get to those keyboard thingies in a minute. All right. Or the keyboard shortcuts. They kind of have this, it's a to-do, your tabs are a to-do list, and they kind of lean into that. Don't hate it. It's fine. It's just a slightly different UI on closing a tab. So if that's kind of as far as they take that to-do list concept, I think that's kind of fine with me. All right, so workspaces. There are some different things with locked tabs. It pushes them to the top if you want it to do that. You can rearrange them. You can rename them. You just double click to rename something. Arc had that. I love that. I like that particularly for me, where I'm like, I need to name, like I just want Notion just called Notion. I don't want Notion changing the title all the time for which particular page I'm on. I want GitHub just called GitHub. It doesn't, I don't care what fancy titles you want. For me to find that tab, I want it just called GitHub, and I can do that. And that's nice, I think. So kind of cool. Vertical tabs, like a to-do list, great. Tabs as tasks, mark them as done, fine. They don't overdo it, it's fine. Split screen, absolutely, it's nice. I haven't lived with it quite long enough to know if I absolutely love the implementation yet. I did like in Arc, you just hit T and you said split and then pick the split. Oh, yeah, look, you can do that actually. And then how do I pick the website over here though? Oh yeah, nice. CodePen. Will it open it in the split? Yeah, it did open it in the split. So that's okay. And then what's on the left then? If I click this, can I go to google.com? No, then it replaces the split. I don't know. I think I'm not used to how it rocks yet. So I'm a little hesitant to call it like an amazing split screen implementation, but we'll see. Maybe I can get the muscle memory right. At least it has it. It's just gotta have it for me. I need it. Okay, what else does it have? Lazy search. That's just saying it's got a Command K bar, essentially, even though it's not even Command K, it's Command T, which you're already used to. I think all of us have that. Command T, new tab, I need to go somewhere else. It just opens this. You can type in where you want to go. It's either a search or it's a tab that's open or it's a URL or it's a command. You know, I really like that, that approach. We already kind of talked about that. Heck yeah, it's got AI, whatever. It's a sidebar with AI in it. Okay, fine. I like my little AI guys, but it doesn't, you can just have your little AI guys in a workspace and then your little AI guys are right here. Why do they need to be over there? Why does it, you know, I guess it's kind of neat that the active tab is part of the context, but I haven't made that part of something that I need out of a browser yet. Maybe I'll change my tune on that eventually, but I don't know that I absolutely need that. Okay, fine. It has this thing called focus mode. Okay, well, here's another AI feature is the like, I think Arc had this too. Wasn't it one of its paid features at one time where you kind of like pinch out and then it sends the page through AI and gives you like an AI version of the page you were looking at? Again, to me, I'm like, how bad does a website have to be that you like piece out of it and just want a paragraph of explanation instead? It just doesn't seem like something I need a bunch. No shame if that's what you like and need, but it's just not something I crave or something. Yeah, it's got an ad blocker built in. Fine. This magic theme is interesting. I think, do I have it activated right now? Look in the thing. You can go, okay, Sigma's in light mode. It's in dark mode. Of course it has those. Follow the system. That's normally where I leave everything or prefer it when it has that. But magic is interesting in that it changes the theme based on the website you're on. So CodePen is dark. The whole thing's going to go dark, right? Or it's dark right now. In fact, I wonder if I went light, would it follow it? Oops. Man K, light mode. Does it change? Will it change the sidebar? Pen is read only. Oh, it says I'm not logged in. Ooh, that's a bug. It shouldn't be offering to like the site theme. I don't know. It's almost just not even be there if we're not going to let you do it. It's because I'm logged out. That was a little bug I'm going to have to fix. Password will work probably. All right. Now if I go light mode, will magic take over? Come on now. Yeah. It must be like looking at the body background color or something. So this sidebar is changing color when the theme of the website changes. So that's what makes it magic mode, I guess. Do you like that? Do we like that? I don't know. I'm tempted to say no, that I don't want my browser changing that much. And then I say that, and I kind of like how Safari, you know, have you ever seen in Safari where the whole top of the bar changes color to the background color? That I kind of like, but when it changes the whole sidebar, it feels like a little bit much. So I'm not sure if I like it. I'm tempted now to just kind of leave it on the system mode or pick one of the modes and stick with it so that the browser's changing less on you as you browse around. I used to have this thing on my TV at home too that had this strip of lights around it, and you sent that HDMI to the TV through this little box that was like looking at the colors that were going through the HDMI apparently, and it would change the strip of colors based on what was happening on the screen. And it was kind of cool. And then of course, like all things like that, you just kind of stop using it eventually. And you're like, I'm not sure how cool it really is actually. All right. Seems to be a big feature for them. They push it quite a bit as you onboard and in the UI and stuff. This little circle up here is focus mode, which means it just gets rid of a bunch of the interface and stuff. So you can not be distracted by things. Don't hate it, but also I can't see myself using it that much. I don't know why. It just isn't that interesting. But I'm glad it's there, I guess. Whatever. Camera froze there for a sec. All right, so that's the kind of the basics of it. But the devil's in the details here. Does it have other stuff from Arc that I find absolutely required? Mostly it does. Like, for example, one of the little dumb things in Arc that I absolutely need is this Command-Shift-C to copy the current URL. So if you go into Preferences and Shortcuts, it's got that in there where let's see, URL, copy page link, and you can make it whatever you want. I made it Command-Shift-C, and now this like absolute need I have in from Arc is now covered by this, and that just makes me feel good. They have a zillion commands in here, and they're all customizable. It does try to push on you a little bit this idea that the shortcuts have a modern version of shortcuts, and a lot of those shortcuts are without a modifier key. They're like, just press S, just press F. And I feel like I use so many websites where you're actually writing or coding or something that like, I can't just press S or F. Like it will make an S in the text area that I'm in. Like I don't want that. I would like modifier keys. And I had to switch it to traditional because I thought everything was different. There was no command left to go back, and command T wasn't make a new tab, and command W wasn't close. Like I think having it on traditional is like good for me. And I even turned off single key shortcuts entirely. I'm like, that's just too much for me. See, a lot of this focus mode specific stuff, I'm like, I don't care that much about focus mode. I don't want to have things different if I happen to go into it. I also really like this feature. If shortcuts conflict, do you want to use the website's one, or do you want it to use SigmaOS, or have a different in focus mode? No, I don't want a different in focus mode. I have it on Prefer SigmaOS right now because, for example, I really like the Control-Shift-C. You can see it down here. It copies the link and tells me that it did it. Don't mind that. Kind of like it. But for example, in CodePen, if I have this pen open, our Command-Shift-C opens up the console, and it's the best we could do for the moment, but it conflicts with my favorite. So if in shortcuts I said prefer website and hit Command-Shift-C, it's going to do that. That's okay, but I really like my Command-Shift-C. I want to beat CodePen in this one opportunity, so I'm saying prefer Sigma, and then it's copying it, and I can use the UI to do that job if I need it to. Fair enough. All right, so customize. We looked at the modes. We looked at, which password manager do you want to use? That type of thing. Oops, cancel. Oh, look, Team OS sent me a page. So I clicked one password and it's like, here's our docs on that. You have this little inbox thing. I think theoretically, other users and stuff can send you links to look at, and they show up in a workspace down here. Kind of neat, isn't it? If I click them all away, now I can't get back to that thing. That was the browser itself sending me a page. Sure, neat. But maybe your friends can do it too. Maybe it'll take off, whatever. This is one thing I didn't like. Where's my Kagi? I don't see it in here. I can't pick it as my default search engine, which is the one that I want. The way that it works in Chrome is you can, I actually kind of forget all the details of how it works in Chrome, but Kagi has a browser extension. You add the browser extension and it goes, right? So how can't I just add the browser extension? This seems like broken to me at the moment. First of all, it has a bunch of, if we say extensions, add, they have popular ones in here. Sure, that's nice. I think that's smart, actually, good design. But it says, just grab it from the Chrome extension store if you want. I could look for my favorite little extension in there, but it just is grayed out, the button. And all their docs are like, just go to the store, get it from there. It doesn't work. Is it just broken in mine? Did I not click some feature that I should have? Did I not read some docs? Is it a bug in this version of SigmaOS? I don't know, but I can't do it. And I think if I got this installed, then maybe it would work. But for the moment, I cannot make Kagi my default search, which is what I want, which is too bad. So I'm not sure what to do about that. Maybe I'll send in a little feedback, Preview links in mini window. That's what Arc called Little Arc. And I kind of like that. If I'm in another app, like my email client or something like that, I can, when I click a link, it just opens a little small window there, and I can promote it up into my browser or not. I love that. I'm very surprised that they pulled that off and got that in here. I think that's a really nice feature. Cool. Here's the AI stuff. This is what they want to sell me. First of all, it'll rename my pages automatically. I hate that. I'd pay to not do that. And the magic previews are when you hover over a link and you're holding the command key, it'll like open it up, a small version of it. there. I don't like that either. Yet another feature I don't want. So as an account, if I were to upgrade my membership in here, I can give them money, but it's all AI stuff. It's just lookups and ARIS and summaries that I don't care about. So I almost wish there was better stuff in here, but like I don't need any of that. I won't use any of that stuff. So I'd only be upgrading to I don't know, be nice, I guess, which I'm not above. It's just not my favorite. So it has syncing. It's saying, oh, I'll sync all your workspaces, and it just randomly syncs every 5 minutes. That seems a little weird to me. I would pay for them to just do it better. Just sync in real time. I don't know. Arc did it great. Also, it just doesn't work. I have a laptop too. I installed SigmaOS there. I have syncing on. If I were to go downstairs and open my laptop right now, it won't have any of these tabs. It just doesn't sync. So it's nice that they say there's syncing. Maybe there's something wrong with my setup, but it doesn't have syncing as far as best I can tell. This is weird that it's this little window that comes up, but it's not really a window. You can't move it or anything. So strange. So we looked at shortcuts. There's a million of them. I really like that. Like it's a way for them to teach you about what this browser can do and its fancy features and stuff. I'm sure I haven't seen all of it. Websites is cool. For all websites, turn on and off the web blocker, permissions, that kind of thing. Where do you want new links to go? Which one of your workspaces? Do you want to use mini window or not? All great stuff. And then per website things. I was trying to log into elk.zone. That's like a little Mastodon client. And there was some problem with when it shoots over to the Mastodon front end to auth, something was wrong with it. So for that website, I opened up the little settings and I said, just turn off the ad blocker, but just for that website. Maybe I'll turn off the ad blocker on all websites, but that's kind of the sanity check that you do sometimes. You're like, what's wrong? Why isn't this website doing what it should do? Turn off the ad blocker as your first line of defense to see if that goes. Passwords, I won't even click on. I mean, there's nothing in there. It doesn't matter. I don't want, I'm not going to keep my passwords in here. Like, I wish I could just turn off the feature entirely. It's weird to me that it offers to, it knows I want to use one password, but it'll save passwords too. Not my favorite. So advanced, let's see what it's got in here. Fast page switching. I don't know why I turned that off. Hover a workspace to temporarily interact with this list of pages. Seems like something that might be cool, but I don't want it. It told me to turn this off to make it faster, and faster is catnip for me. So of course I'm like, yeah, I want it to be faster. So there you go. I'm turning it off. Forget these animations. Reduce informational hits I turned off just for this screencast, as I was thinking it was going to start telling me stuff. Ooh, look at the cleanup button. I'm seeing this for the first time. Sorry to be distracto kitty here, but if I do that, it's like, oh, I'll clean up. I'll just close every single tab that isn't locked. I guess that's cool. I wouldn't want to accidentally click it though. Search, lazy search with the blur, whatever. Advanced. That's the thing. Blur background behind lazy search. I think I'm going to turn that off because it was unclear to me what it was even doing. Auto order locked pages. Yeah, I actually do want to automatically keep my locked pages at the top of my workspace. Yes, I like that. Organize my locked pages. The problem is I want them at the top, but I don't want you to order them past that. Like, just put them at the top and then let me change them. So here I think about at the top. Hopefully it stays there. Yeah. Oh, so we'll see. This was interesting to me. Use WebKit Plus. SigmaOS's WebKit Plus engine brings better web performance and features as well as wider extension support. I had that on. I was thinking, as I had it off earlier, I was like, I wonder if that's why it wouldn't let me add an extension. Is because I had this off. Nope. So I turned it on. I don't know what it is. It ships in the browser off. So I think that's kind of telling that maybe they don't want to, they're too nervous about their own engine or something. You have to opt into it. I would just know that it's there and flip it off if there was big problems on a website. Some legacy thing that I don't know what lazy search really is, so I just have it off because I don't know what legacy is or isn't. Unload pages that haven't been used in a while. I think that's a little neat, I guess. I think they go gray like that when it's deloaded, saves RAM and stuff. That's neat. Is that unique to SigmaOS? Probably. Maybe that's a good battery saver kind of thing. cool. Show website name and title bar. That's what's giving me the actual URL. If you flip it off, you get the page title. I like URLs. I'd way rather see the URL. So I have that going on there. You can turn off third-party cookies. It ships off. I turned it on because I'm like nervous that I'm going to use this browser and crap is going to be broken and I'm going to get annoyed with it. So I have it on for now and maybe I'll flip it off in the future. That kind of thing. Always show top bar. It can just go away if you need more space. I like that they offer features like that. Kind of nice. Quit protection. I turned on the high refresh rate. I don't know why. I have a pretty nice computer. I guess maybe I want it to be smoother, and it doesn't say anything about performance. So that's that. It seems to me that it covers pretty much everything that it, like as far as an Arc replacement thing. That's all I would want, I think. I can't think of anything else Arc did that I really wanted. So the reasons left that I'm nervous is that I don't think it syncs well or at all, possibly. So I'm nervous about that. Here's one little thing that I think is annoying is like if I go over here and click, I want to go back to this because this is my main one for my work stuff. And then I mouse away like diagonally away from it over this workspace. Oh, did it fix? Maybe I changed something. It was like if I hovered over these, it would switch without even clicking it. Maybe I changed a setting just now that fixed it. It was killing me today. I'd come here and click this and then go like this with my mouse away and it had already switched away from that workspace. Maybe it's because I turned animations off or something. That now it's not doing that. Wow, that's tremendous. Well, forget my thing. Quick look. I just changed the setting. Hi, Killian. Thanks for joining us. Good. Apparently I fixed it. Good job, me. That's great because that was killing me. That was like an old school web thing. Remember that? I don't know. It was like an ancient CSS tricks article, though I'm sure I didn't invent this idea. It was like if you had navigations that would stick out from the side, that instead of making your mouse have to go across it exactly perfectly, you'd put this little secret pseudo element triangle there that'd be more forgiving with your mouse when you went over it. I was like, you need to read this old article and fix this thing. Anyway, yeah, quick look. Turn it off. That feature sucks. Oh, don't read all my stuff either. It's secret. Cool. Do I cover everything I wanted to? It's interesting to me that in the menus, I guess you can't see any of that. They have when you have a native Mac app, there's the menus across the OS bar across the top. It has that, but there's like hardly anything in it, which I think is common when you see an app that's like built for multiple platforms. They can't count on any of that stuff, so they don't even bother with it. But this app has like hardly anything in the in the top command area. It's like if you're going to find it, it's going to be in the UI of this thing, and that's it. So pretty decent. Yeah, I'd be kind of interested in your take, Killian, on this. You make a custom niche browser yourself for developers. I don't think they're trying to step in on your territory here in any way, because it seems like it's not for developers at all, really. I think it's trying to, I guess, go for like kind of power users of browsers, and I think that market's probably actually decently big. Let's see. Oh, I can't click links in this stupid app. Killian sent the URL for the breaking down Amazon's mega dropdown. Breaking down Amazon's mega dropdown. Maybe this is the post. That would be fun to look at. Does it have the triangles of glory in it? Oh, it's like this ancient blog post, but this is still a very nice looking website. Yeah, it was these side things. Where's the triangle? The triangle of glory. When you click and it opens one to the right, you can go your mouse anywhere in the blue triangle there, and it doesn't like go to that new thing. It knows that you're on your way over to the right. So kind of cool. Right on. I'm looking at other browsers. Spaces, workspace, projects, implementation, since it's something I want to add. Plus people are reviewing browsers is like my catnip. Heck yeah. I've been just fascinated using other browsers. I used Brave for a couple days. I wanted to use Vivaldi because Bruce is over there, so I tried that for a little while. Orion was really close to working, but there's some bug in Orion where you cannot log into CodePen. There's some niche weird way that it handles like reCAPTCHA or something, and it's killing me. We will fix it, but I couldn't use it. I can't even use my own freaking website in it. I was like out, you know. So that's that. But so far so good on this. If they get syncing fixed really good, I could see it working. And I hope that they're like as active with playing with the UI as Arc was. That was one of the reasons why Arc was so attractive, is like every week you'd get a little notification that's like, we did this. And they were playful with how much UI stuff that they were willing to change around. And this is fairly new and it's pretty cool, all the UI stuff they're doing. So I'm hoping that they're as playful with UI stuff as they were before. It seems like they should be able to be. I don't know, you know, it's going to be a bummer when they're like, we added a calendar or something. You'll be like, no, that's not what I wanted. Or they're like, we shipped our iOS version, and it's always disappointing because you're like, oh, well, like a little basic wrapper around Safari, not that useful. Arc never really nailed that either. So kind of cool. Killian's browser is Polypane, if you've never seen that. A very excellent browser for development. One of the big reasons is the reason I would think the number one selling feature is your multiple viewports thing, right? Like that you can look at the same website at the same time and even scroll through it and have inputs synced and crap like that across multiple viewports. If you're looking at it at the same time is like a real mind-blowy thing. You're like, obviously they need to look good. So to like get one right and then, you know, do a bunch of work at a wide viewport and then shrink it down and then do a bunch of work. It's like, why don't you look at them at the same time instead of doing one and then the next? I think you were pretty influential on the like, why don't you work at them both at the same time kind of thing. Pretty cool. And at the same time also try to, I don't know if this is how you think, but consider it like a work browser. Like, I don't know anybody that rips Polypane as their day-to-day social media browser or anything. Maybe you'd want to expand to that, but it almost seems like you would have a different product or something that would do that. That this is more about like, I'm going to make developing in browsers better. I should mention or maybe I did at the beginning, that like a little part of me wishes it was Chromium back there. I was excited when I saw the preference that said that this like WebKit plus one. I was like, ooh, I can turn WebKit off. What does it become then? Does it become Chromium? No, that's a bummer. That would be rad if this checkbox would let you flip between Chromium and WebKit. That would kick ass. I don't know. Maybe that's an extremely tall lift for them. I don't know, but and some people prefer this. I mean, they make it a selling point. They say, this is WebKit, and we did that on purpose. This is the best. We picked it because it's the kind of the correct choice for this kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, I guess, fine. But if I find websites being problematic, it's probably WebKit these days, even though it's pretty good. Like, I'm going to full-time in this browser. It's not enough for me to not do that. I just wish it was Chromium. That's all. So sync, Chromium, better side tab implementation, but pretty much usable. I'm really hoping that this can just be the browser I use for the next couple of years. And I'm really into the idea that browsers are duking it out, and they're duking it out around AI a little bit, I guess, but around UI and the experience of using the browser. There's a lot of competition there. That's what we were hoping to see. You know, like when we lost Opera long ago, and then we lost, you know, Microsoft's engine, whatever they called that. It was kind of like, gosh, this is a bummer. We are losing the diversity of browsers. This is a bummer. And it's a bummer at a deep technical level. It's a bummer that if there was only one implementation of browsers, that would be a bummer, and maybe it still will be. But it's like, well, we'll see a lot of innovation on the open sourceness, because Microsoft's was never open source. We lost a closed source browser. Now they're all, between Firefox and Chromium and WebKit, they're all open source. So we're hoping like a blossoming of interface exploration would happen, and it is. It's exactly what's happening. So kind of rad. See, look at these little pop-ups. Run even faster. Move at the speed of thought around your browser. We designed our keyboard shortcuts to be easy to learn. See, I kind of actually want to... Well, it just says got it. It's not actually training me. I guess you have to click this button and then it... Oh, look at the little cheat sheet. That's nice. Look at their all Command T. Every freaking single one of them. Not super sure that that's correct. I guess it depends on what it's... Oh, new CodePen sandbox. Look at that. That's not what we call it, but I'll take it. That's funny. I'll share that with the team. Cool. We're just as cool as all these other apps, apparently. That rules. Yeah, I think I got to kill it for now because I got a meeting at the moment, but thanks for hanging out. We didn't get to lit HTML. I wanted to show you something cool that I can do in it now, or discovered that you could do. I don't really invent anything else. I will see you all tomorrow. I'm trying to do this every day. I just was gone last week because I was visiting family, but now I'm here. All right, take care, everybody. Lots of fun. Take care. Bye-bye.